That's an unpopular opinion, just FYI. Most people want to get away from Class C, but not me. I enjoy Class C. Value add, baby. Let's go. Hey, what is up? What is up? Drop some fire in the chat. If you guys are excited to be here today, drop some fire in the chat. Super excited about tonight's session. We're going to be giving away a grant to someone who has applied, and my team have read quite a bit of stories, and I've heard some of the backlog and different things like that. And so with that being said, I'm excited to be able to share who's going to win that grant tonight with the help of Michael and everyone like that. And do me a favor, guys, if you can, drop some fire in the chat just for the team. They have been here working all week long to make sure that this summit is a success for you guys and that you guys get the most value out of it. And what I want to do today is I was going to teach, and I say, you know what? Because there's only 1% on here that really care, I want to talk to the people that took action, made decisions, and is going to see me at the 5-day property challenge. I don't want to teach at you guys during this session. I want to be able to meet you exactly where you are, and I want to be able to answer some questions that you're probably saving for the 5-day property challenge. Because you took action, because you went and got your ticket, because you are, because you are serious about real estate investing, I want to be able to answer some questions tonight. This is kind of how I start the 5-day property challenge off. It's with Q&A. You bring me your question, we chop it up. By the grace of God, I have a response for you. And then we just, we all learn from it, right? And so what I would encourage you guys to do is to take notes. Write the question down that they're asking and then write the response to it. And it may not apply to you right now, but you never know along the way. You may be like, oh, I remember that was asked at the 3-day summit, and this is what Coach T said. So, Mike, I want to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. I want to do it with people that have actually purchased their tickets to attend the 5-day property challenge. And I want to be able to start getting those roadblocks out the way for them right now. And for those of you who's asking for the link for the 5-day property challenge, my team will be dropping it in the link throughout the night. So you can go and get your tickets there. Let's go. I'm excited.
All right. So how we're going to do this, if you got your ticket to the property challenge, you can have a chance to ask Terica a question, but you have to have your camera on and you got to use the hand raise feature. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a little hand. It says react and then click, it says raise hand. So you can come up and you can ask a question. Okay, so let's go ahead, get those hands raised. I do see Veronica got her ticket to the challenge back a while. I believe, Veronica, did you do the January challenge? Refresh me, or am I wrong? I could have swore I saw your face on the last challenge. Can you unmute yourself for us?
Can my team spotlight the people, please?
Yeah, she's having some issues on mute, and I don't know what it is.
Can you hear me?
That's in a circle, baby. That's family. What's good? Can we, Veronica?
Veronica, you got to unmute yourself again. And then we're gonna. All right, there we go.
Hello.
Hey, love.
Oh, is this Terica?
Hey, baby. How you doing?
I'm okay. Can't wait.
Yes. What's your question?
I have a question. I got approved with NACA, so I'm not sure. Can I use whatever home I'm able to get for to start my real estate journey, or it's a different thing? Because I know you have experience in this. Can we?
Didn't you email us? I think you emailed us this question too.
Yeah,
right?
I never got any response yet. So I thought maybe you ain't got to the question yet.
Okay, got you. Okay. My team is over here saying, nah, we sent that email. Like, tell her to check her email, but I will answer it for you, right? So NACA is a special program that is extremely strict, okay, in regards to utilizing a single family property for investments. Now, what I would be curious to know is that if you can buy up to 4 doors, so 4 units in up under one roof, that's still considered residential. And with that, yes, you can start your real estate journey with the NACA program if they allow you to be able to buy 2 to 4 units up under that one roof. Now, it can't be 4 houses in different places. It have to all be up under that one roof. And so I would just ask your representative in regards to it. I also told my team to mention that, NACA, it takes a very long time to pay off that type of loan, because it also can fluctuate in regards to your income, depending on if you're making a lot or if you're not and you need modifications. And they also have a very low interest rate, right? Did they give you your interest rate yet?
Yeah, they say the interest rate is actually lower than the standard interest rate.
Correct. Yeah, that's why it takes longer to pay off, because they're giving you that lower interest rate. But it's also a great way to start home ownership. They have some very strict timelines with when you could sell the property and
They
how
say
long
in
you have
5
to
years.
have it.
In
How
5 years.
long? In 5 years, correct. So I would just make sure that you know all the fine print with that loan. But absolutely, if you can get 2 to 4 doors, you can absolutely apply for, you can start applying that towards your real estate goals for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, love.
All
I
right,
can't wait
next.
to meet you.
I know, baby. Soon.
Hey, Michelle, welcome
Hey,
up.
Michelle.
Hi, thank you for all that you do. I have a
You're welcome.
question about the seminars that are coming up. When we do a visit in Louisiana, do you have the dates so that I can mark them in my calendars?
Yeah, we're gonna send those dates by email.
Okay.
And you should be getting those dates within the next 2 weeks. And it'll give you enough time to be able to plan for travel as well.
Okay, thank you so much for all you do.
You're welcome. You don't got no real estate question?
I have so many, so.
Well, give me one.
Okay, for the programs that you basically are structuring for us, are they mostly in the South and in the East? Because I'm in California and I'm trying to navigate some real estate transactions out here.
So just to be very clear, I'm not structuring you guys to buy anywhere.
Okay.
In the South. I'm structuring you to buy anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So the formulas you have now, obviously California, New York, these formulas, you're probably going to be looking for a deal for a year, right? And so you got to ask yourself the question, hey, do I want to invest in other areas where it makes sense? Maybe I can get more for my money, because let's just say, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in San Diego or San Francisco, heck, let's just say it's $1 million for 1,200 square feet. All right. Well, for $1 million in the Sun Belt states, you're probably buying 5 to 6 different properties that's producing income.
Yes.
So I think that we just have to get, educated on the actual process, the numbers, the formulas, and you'll be able to implement that anywhere. You find you a good project manager, a good project management, a good property management company, and you can acquire assets anywhere. So if you want to deploy your capital outside of the states of California because their pricing is ridiculous, you can absolutely do that. There's places in Florida that make sense, and then there's places in Florida that don't make sense. Miami don't make sense in Florida, right? So you got to ask yourself the question, what part of California or, Nevada or wherever that's close to you would make sense that you would feel comfortable being able to acquire those assets.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Maria, welcome up.
Hey, Maria.
Hi, Tarika. Thank you so much. This has been great. It's been so nice to meet you. I have a quick
Nice to
question.
meet
I don't know why I cannot this might sound really basic, but I can't wrap my head around it. So I have 2 investment properties in Austin. I lived in both of them at one point. And And one I bought in 2011, one I bought in 2016. I've had fantastic tenants. I've loved being a landlord, all of it. I have a lot of equity in those. I have not touched it because I'm terrified of touching that or refinancing and then having the interest rate. I've got a 3.6% interest rate and a 4.4% interest rate. And so I need to figure out where to go from here in terms of like, because in my mind, I just want to pay it off. I hate having debt. And yet I hear that debt is the way that you keep on scaling. And so I owe I owe 115 on one of them and 165 on one of them, and have
How much is the 115 worth?
about 700,000 now. I bought it for 259. And then the 2016, I bought it for, well, I bought the other one for 269. I bought that one in 2016 for 269, and it's worth 400 now.
How much
I owe
you owe on it?
165. And in my
Okay.
mind, I just want to pay
Go
it off
ahead.
and be done.
Okay.
I don't want
So
to, yeah.
what happens when you pay it off?
I just keep collecting that that passive income.
Really? Okay. What happened if you put debt on it?
If I put debt on it by refinancing,
Mm-hmm.
that terrifies me because
Mm-hmm.
because I just want to get that passive income and see that no loan.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask
So
you a question. How many doors would you like to acquire, and how much would you like to make a month?
yeah, I know. I'd love to make, because Tarika, my husband lives in
It's
Spain. Well,
Terica.
I'm sorry,
It's okay. It's
Tarika.
Terica. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have 20,000 coming in a month.
Okay. 20,000 passively.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much do you get from the one that's 115?
It leases for 3,500, but taxes, insurance, PITI, probably 1,600 both,
1,600 for both?
for both.
Okay. And then let me ask you another question. So you make about 3,200 a month with those two properties, correct?
Well, after expenses, I'm earning
Yeah.
1,600
Yeah. That's
for
net
both.
32. That's 3,200. Oh, 1,600 for both, not each.
For both.
Okay, so 1,600, not 1,600 for the 115 and 1,600 for the 165.
Exactly. One leases for 3,500, the other for 2,400. I just listed it for 2,500 this month. So 3,500 and 2,500, but after expenses, yeah, 1,600.
Okay. And you said you had a really great interest rate, and you bought these really low.
One interest rate is 3.6, the other was 4.
Mm-hmm. And the other interest rate is 4. Okay. And so right now you're netting about $1,600 a month.
Yes.
That's what you're netting.
Yes.
Okay. How much capital do you have right now to go deploy to buy, let's just say, 10 more doors?
No, not a lot.
What would be your number?
Probably, I've been in Spain the past 5 years. I'm a realtor, but I've not been making much there. So I have about 10,000.
Okay. This is a coaching moment, so you have nothing to be ashamed of, okay? I can't knock down your barrier from the front, so I'm gonna knock it down from the back, okay? So right now you have about $10,000 in capital you can deploy. But
And I'm
in one
talking just
property,
cash,
uh-huh.
right? Not tapping into my IRA or anything.
Mm-hmm. Right. So let me ask you a question. How long do you think it's going to take you to get to $20,000 passively if you only have $10,000?
Well, I'm back in Texas working in real estate. So hopefully my income,
Let me help
my
you out.
income
It's
will
not, it's going,
definitely be.
let me help you out. It's going to take you more than 30 years. More than 30 years. So the first thing you have to stop saying is, I don't like debt. Okay. There's a thing called good debt, and then there's a thing called bad debt. Okay. You hate bad debt. Bad debt is high interest credit cards, right? Bad debt is money you spend that you don't have. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah, and I agree, and I know all that intellectually. Terica, what I don't know is when I use that equity that I have, like I can't wrap my head around how it actually works to then not have that huge interest rate just bring me under
So let me tell you
on
something.
refinancing.
Stop being afraid of the interest rate. Okay. You have a lot of fears going on. And I'll tell you this. If you go inside of a deal with fear, you have already cursed your deal. That's the truth. So the first thing you have to get rid of is the fear of interest rates. It's just a number. So all we have to do is math the number to see what makes sense for you. Now, because you're a conservative, I would tell you not to use all of your equity at one time, because that would make you extremely nervous and it'll make you feel upside down. But what if I told you just to tip your toe in the water? You got $1.1 million in equity right now. D, how much buying power is that? Give me 1 second. You got $5.5 million in buying power because the bank could give you 80%. What's the quick formula we use, D? No, that's your quick formula. That's not mine. Okay. So if the bank is going to give you 80% and you need 20%, okay? So what is 20% times the 5.5 million? Take out my calculator. Let's do math together. What is that number? Maria?
I'm sorry, I haven't done it on my calculator.
Well, what were you doing? I can't do your work for you. You got to do it with me. So 5.5 million times 20%. What you got?
I got 1.1.
That's right. That's how much you have in equity. So that means that they'll meet you at 5.5 million. Now, let me re-ask the question. If you had $5.5 million to be able to go out and acquire real estate, how long would it take you to get to that $20,000 passively?
No time.
No time at all, right? You probably can set up a 5-year plan and get it done in 3 years. But what you got to do is you have $5.5 million worth of buying power right now. What I'm telling you to do is just apply for a HELOC on whichever property that has the most, that gives you the most income, right? With the highest net income. And then what I would tell you to do is take the second mortgage, the HELOC on that property, spend about $400,000 on an investment property where it can make you double what you're making with this $1,600. So what I'm gonna do, Maria, is I'm gonna break that down for you, okay? So right now, with the 2 properties you have, you're netting $1,600. Okay. What I'm telling you to do is, which property would you use? The one that got the 700,000 or the one that got the 400,000?
I don't know. Which one would you recommend? I didn't understand. Which one should be my
I would
priority?
recommend the 700,000 because it's a lower amount of debt. Okay. So if that's the one that got the lower interest rate too, it's 3.6, right? Yes. Okay, good. So let's just say, for instance, you're at 1,600 with both of those total. Okay. And let's say you got $700,000 worth of equity, but we're not going to use all of that. Okay. We're going to just get a HELOC for, let's just say $400,000. Okay. And because you want to make 20,000 passively a month, let's break that down into 5 years. Let's do 20,000 divided by 5. So that's about 4, let's see, about 4,000 a year passively. For about 5 years, right? So 4,000, that's the number. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to go and look for a multifamily property, as many doors as you possibly can. So let's just say you find a multifamily property, let's just say a 20-unit deal. Okay. Let's say a 20-unit deal, and let's just say it cost about 800,000. Okay, that 20-unit deal is going to require you to put down $160,000. Okay, so 800,000 sales price times 20%, which is your down payment. That means you're going to have to come out that $400,000 you have, Maria, 160,000 of that. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. So now let's say interest rates are 7% for this 160,000, and you still got to account for the 3.6. That makes sense? Yes.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a little hot, but yeah, I'm writing this all
Okay.
down.
Okay. All right. So that's a 10.6% interest rate collectively. So let's just see what the numbers is on that. Okay, 160 plus the 115 you owe. Okay, so it's 275. And then we're going to do an interest rate of 10.6% on that. So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm about to type in Carl's calculator. It's Carl's mortgage calculator. We use that calculator to be able to run the mortgage and different things like that, mortgage payments and stuff like that. So what I'm about to do in Carl's calculator is I'm about to see how much is $275,000 in debt. I'm going to do a 0 down payment because I just want to get the number. And then I'm going to do interest at 10.6. Enter. Okay. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for, let's just say, the loan you got at the 115, is it for 20 or 30 years?
It's a 30-year. They're both 30-year.
Oh, perfect. So let's just do 30 years. Okay. Enter. All right. So monthly, you're looking at $2,536.12. Okay. Now, of course, that don't include the taxes and insurance and things like that. But what we're doing is we're just trying to get to the number that scares you right now. Right now, the number that scares you is $2,536.12 monthly net. That's what scares you.
And you're saying for 20 doors plus my 2 single families.
That's right. So now what I'm about to do is I'm about to keep breaking it down for you. Welcome to class. I love you. And I love your transparency and your authenticity, okay? Because there's people on here who would never be able to do what you're doing right now. But what you're learning is so valuable that when you do this, you're going to be in a room where people are going to celebrate. And we're going to have this video of you taking 100 deep breaths per minute. but you're still hanging in there. You're still
Well,
hanging in there.
Erica, it's not even the 2,500 a month that scares me. It's, like I said before, I know there's good debt and I know there's bad debt, but it's the number in that debt that
This
scares
the number,
me.
25. No, this the number. You just said the 25 don't scare you. This is the number we're talking about right now.
Oh, I thought you just said 2,536 a month.
Yes. That's what it increases to.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's the fear is not really real until you break the numbers down. You're like, oh, okay. So, but I'm not even done. We haven't even gotten to the good part yet. I just added what you owe, 115 plus the 160 down payment, and I put those together and I put it at a 10.6% interest rate. So that way I can add the second mortgage interest rate. Let's just say it's 7. It's probably going to be cheaper than that, but I did it at 7%. And I did your 3.6 that's already there. So we're accounting for that, okay? So those numbers together, when you use that debt, that is how much it's going to cost you. $2,536.12. Now, let's just say the 20 unit you find, let's just say the rents on the apartments, let's just use a small number, okay? I'm going to use $600 a month for your 20 unit apartment complex.
Okay. I think I said that incorrectly before. Then what I'm saying is the loan amount. I put 160 down, but then I have this loan amount of
what? 375
on an $800,000 purchase.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me keep going for you.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this in slow-mo.
Yes, it's okay. Let me keep going for you. Okay. So what you're saying, so the amount that needs to matter is the equity and the monthly payment.
Okay.
Okay. The equity, because you're gonna buy with equity. 20 units for 800,000 is a steal. Okay. So you're gonna buy with equity. We actually picked up a 20 unit deal for $385,000. $385,000. I spent $400,000 renovating. It's worth $1.2 million right now. Okay. So I'm not telling you to do anything that Terica Lynn Smith have not done already. Okay. But let me finish giving you your math. Okay. So let's just say the units are $600 each times $600 each times 20. That's $12,000 a month. That don't include your 2 units. That's $12,000 a month. Now, let's just say for math's sake, I'm being very conservative right now. I'm going to take 50% off for vacancy, for stabilization, for operational, for repairs, reserves. I'm taking 50% off. So let's just say this building of 20 units net you $6,000 a month.
Okay.
You see how fast you're going to get to 20,000 passively? You have to use the debt to leverage. This is how, like, I'm not going to say this is how America is built because we're out of control. We're $1 trillion hole right now. Okay. But what I'm telling you is don't let these big numbers scare you, because guess what? When you make $12,000 a month, just with the 1% rule, if you bought this at $800,000, and it's now making $12,000 a month, that's $1.2 million valuation you have. So worst case scenario, you get so nervous, Maria, and you are ready to unload this deal. You unload it for $1 million because guess what? Investors going to pick it up like that. So that $800,000 that you're worrying about, you didn't worry about it when you bought your first properties, right? You knew what you was going into, but you had the income to be able to take care of it. So all you doing is making sure that you're using the income to take care of the property and that you're buying with equity. So if your worst case scenario is, hey, I want to dump this property, I want to fire sell it. You're a realtor. If I want to fire sell this property, I can get rid of it and I can put this money back into my HELOC and I can go back to the original Maria that I already was. I don't like being spontaneous. But if you say, you know what, I got $800,000 out on this property, but it's making $12,000 a month, netting me $6,000 a month. Could you use that extra $6,000 right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can, right? So don't allow the big number to scare you, because at the end of the day, it's still broken up in chunks. You're agreeing to $800,000 for 30 years. It's not $800,000 in one day. So it's $800,000 in 30 years is what you're agreeing to. So as long as you make sure that your vacancy rate stays low, like you're doing with your other 2 units. You just said you're about to increase the rent on another one, right? On one of them to $2,500. Now you're just batting at a bigger lead because you need to have more doors up under your belt to get to the 20,000 passively. And guess what? You don't have to touch none of your retirement account because of the simple fact you're using the money that's sitting in your bank account, which is your bricks. I call it your brick account. You're allowing your brick account to sit there and get swole and do nothing. And I asked you, what would you do when you pay it off? I would keep the cash flow, and that's what you said. Well, how long you think it's going to take you to pay off this $115,000? Are you looking at the long term that's remaining, Maria? Yes?
What do you mean, am I looking at the long term that's remaining?
How many more years do you have on this $115,000?
Well, I was just thinking, kick it into gear in the US. Again, that's why I came back from Spain. In real estate, hustle, hustle.
But
throw
what's
money
your
at
note
it.
say though? But what's your note say? How many more years left on here?
My note says 15 years.
All right, 15 years to pay back the $115,000.
But that's not what I was just going to throw money at it and work and throw money at it.
Yeah, but you're basing it off of your own capability. Now, I never wish nothing bad on anybody, but I'm also a preparer, right? So I have a trust for my children, and I have it set up so whenever something happened to me, the first thing that's going to take place is my primary residence is going to be paid off with the insurance money. Right. So I have like a lot of things set up in place so to make sure that my family stability is all there. OK, this is you trying to rush to 15 years in a year, which means that you're forgetting about the 20,000 passively that you want to make a month. So you're going to have to let go of one. You're going to have to either let go of the fear of, oh, my gosh, this is such a large number. And look, you are a great steward. You have the right concerns. You are the type of person that deserves to get these type of loans and these type of deals because you have the right mindset. Your mindset is not, I'm about to go spend all of this money and do all. No, that's not your mindset, because you would have done it already. But because you've been such a great steward, it's time to multiply what you've been doing. You're already really good at it. So you have to let go of that fear if you want to get to that 20K a month. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to see you at the 5-day challenge. We got a lot more work to do, but look, we in here together. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, baby.
Whew, that was property challenge level question right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I hope you all got something from that. So let's go with Miss Carter. I see you mobile. Hey, Miss Carter, if you want to unmute,
Hi.
you can go ahead and take your question.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I have a question, Terica, everybody. So on the challenge, you mentioned, I kept hearing you say you start where you're at. You start where you're at, right? So I jumped into real estate a couple of years ago, was looking to get into what's it called? Multifamily, because I like multifamily deals. So I took out a HELOC back in the day to really get education to jump into multifamily. Fast forward now, didn't get any properties, I'm in debt. So where I'm at is I would like to eventually get into multifamily, but that's not where I'm at financially. Right now, I want to get in. I need to know like where it would be my best starting place to get cash, to pay down the stuff, so I can have leverage again so I can get into multifamily.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why didn't the education work the last time?
Okay, so the education didn't work the last time because one, the first time I paid, but hold on. The first time I did it, which I did it more than once, there was a lot of people in the group. And for me, I needed holding your hand. They didn't provide that. It was such a big group, you know, and I didn't get the what's it called? The holding hand that I
The
wanted.
one-on-one. The
Right. I didn't
one-on-one.
get that. I got lost in the sauce, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it twice. Second time I did
Mm-hmm.
it, it was just an impulse. Jumped into
Mm-hmm.
it and still trying to get to the multifamily thing. Um and for this second one that I did, it was a matter of me being in a place where I was overwhelmed, a lot going on in my life, a lot of changes personally. So mentally I didn't have the capacity to
Mm-hmm.
focus really
Mm-hmm.
and to do it. And then it coupled with the mindset of, okay, I'm in debt. I don't want to, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to jump into something else and it not work. So those two
Mm-hmm.
things kind of crippled me,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Well, let me say this, Dorikia. Let me say this. You're not crippled because you paid to be in this room. That means you still got fight in you. That means you still trying to show up and figure this out, right? So
Yeah.
what I love about you is that you took accountability and said whatever program you were in, like one, it was, you just got lost in the numbers, but the second one was really on you, right? So now it's on you. The ball is back in your court, okay? And what I would tell you is that I would have to know, what are you looking for a return? I don't know what your debt is. So I don't want to just be like, hey, well, do this or do that, right? You may need to get a few good wholesale deals up under your belt. You may need to do a few fix and flips to be able to get back on your feet, right? Do you have the debt to income ratio to qualify for a fix and flip? Because you just said, I don't want to get back into debt. Well, you're going to have to either have the capital or you're going to have a lender that's going to be able to help you get out the situation that you're in. Which one is it? I can't hear you. You muted.
I had to mute her because there's
Okay.
background
Oh,
noise.
okay. So I have lenders that I built relationship with that are willing to lend me the money.
Okay. So you're going to get
To,
back in debt.
well, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing with that, I don't mind getting in debt. I don't mind debt. The only thing is the bad debt,
Mm-hmm.
because the
Yeah.
credit cards are what I use to pay for the education. So I'm in bad debt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so this is what I would do. I would calculate the total of all of my credit card costs. And I would look at one property and I would see if maybe I can knock out 20% of it or 30% of it or 40% of it or even 50% of it. 100% would be phenomenal if you found a deal like that. But I would be looking for a fix and flip that had a certain amount of equity that I would be able to acquire that property. Now, how are you going to know that? Tonight, we're going to do reps. Okay. We're going to show you what we do inside of our Circle of Investor program, which is our inner circle program. We're going to show you how we do weekly reps and how we analyze deals. But if you become a little bit more conservative like I am and you run not the 70% rule, maybe you do the 60% rule, right? Because you're in a different type of situation. Well, every deal that does not pass the 60%, you mark it off your table. And when it does pass the 60%, then you take that challenge on along with making sure that you went to the property and that the numbers are what they're going to be, they are. And you got 3 different contractor bids and you went with the average of the 3 and all of that. So that's how I would focus on getting out of the situation that you're in. And then once you flip your way out of debt, I would then look at buying multifamily buy and hold, and maybe starting with 2 to 4 units and getting your feet wet with that. Hire a property management company to help you cover the blind spots that you don't potentially know you may have. Do that make sense?
It does.
So
It
what
does.
formula are you going to start off with?
The 60, 40.
The 60%. Yes.
60, yeah. So let me ask you this, Terica, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Before again, I fix and flip. I get wholesalers who send me deals. Of course, they're, I get them all the time. And so I've looked at them, but I've not taken action because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, fix and flip. I don't want to, I've kind of like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about fix and flip, wholesale, and then you mentioned tax liens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tax liens I like it, but I'm like, is that practical for me right now versus fix and flip?
Well, do you have the capital? Do you have a few $1,000s in the bank to be able to own the deeds? Because you got to do the tax deeds, not tax liens.
The deeds. So I do, because I would borrow against my 401k.
Okay. So depending on what that penalty would be, I would look at that too to make sure that you calculate that inside of the cost of the deal you're looking at.
Okay. But that could get me also.
Recommend, my
Okay.
recommendation is a fix and flip.
Fix
That's
and
my
flip,
recommendation.
Okay.
That's my recommendation. If you do a tax deed deal, right, you're gonna pay for the deed, you're gonna wait for the title to be cleared, you're gonna wait till the redemption period is over, and then you'll be able to go place it on the MLS. Fix and
Okay.
flip, you may find you a distressed property now that's ready to go, and you don't have to wait that long.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, love.
All right, T. I think that we're gonna pass it on to our next speaker. Was that a good Q&A,
Okay.
everybody? Man, T, you always go deep with it. I love it. I love it. Yes, you guys know you're learning from a coach that actually does this business, right? Actually, I think you guys can tell, like, this isn't something that Terica just learned on YouTube a week ago. So what was your biggest takeaway from that time? Real quick, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat what your biggest takeaway was from that 40 minutes of Q&A. But we have more. We have more for you guys. So I don't want you to leave. We have Derek coming in. Derek had an amazing talk yesterday. And he said, you know what? I want to come back and actually show them some real deals. I want to show them actually what it looks like to put everything I taught into play. So I love it. We're gonna don't let fear stop you, Kathy said. Let's go. Suzetta says not fearing numbers. I love it. Okay, awesome. So we also have Smitty the Goat coming in today to talk about credit and funding for your new real estate business. So we got 2 speakers. All right, so make sure you don't leave. And I may just have another student success panel to keep you guys motivated, to keep you excited. Okay, so real quick, before we go and bring Derek up to the stage, a few things. Number one, there's some of you all, you're like, hey, I jumped in for the first day. I keep hearing about this challenge. What is this challenge that Terica keeps talking about? The team is going to drop a link in the chat so you can go ahead and check it out. But I will come up at the very end and I'm going to be talking about that 5-day property challenge. So I'll walk you through exactly what it comes with. I'll walk you through what you get when you jump into that, which is it's a deep mentorship opportunity. So go ahead and check it out. You go to thepropertychallenge.com to see which ticket type is for you and you can jump in. All right. So listen, y'all, get your camera on, get your pen and paper ready because Derek is coming back up to the stage. Derek's coming back, but this is what I want to say. I wanted to make a few things clear, and Britt, I hope it's okay if I say this. Terica, we are going to do her ownership grant at a different date. It's at the deadline is May 31st. We're just opening it up to the public. I am going to do a giveaway at the very end tonight, but the ownership grant was opening up tonight for you all to apply. We're going to open it up to the public later on, but we wanted to give you all first dibs. The deadline, so you can send it to a friend, a family member, you can send it to a colleague, you can send it to somebody. They have until May 31st. That is going to be the deadline. Okay. So make sure you all go ahead and fill that out. Ownershipgrant.com. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Derek. You guys heard from him yesterday about how to invest in an apartment. apartment units. And so today he's going to dive into some of the numbers and make sure you all have some very tangible information to take it home. Then we have Smitty the Goat coming up right after. So if you're ready for Derek to take the stage, go ahead and put put a fire in the chat. I was reading. Put a fire emoji in the chat real quick if you're ready for Derek to take the mic. And I need some energy for him this evening. I need some energy in the room. Put some fire emojis in the chat. So Derek, I'm going to go ahead and pass the ball over to you. Let's go ahead and get this going, brother.
What's up? What's up? Thank you, Michael. Y'all, good questions. Hey, listen, it kind of never fails. This happened for me. I kind of explained this yesterday. The first time I really understood the play, right? The napkin math. So, what Terica was doing with some of the questions before this was napkin math. And, she got her papers and doing her thing, y'all. Listen, it ain't even that complicated. You can underwrite entire real estate deals with pen and paper. Spreadsheets make it easier, especially when you're doing larger deals, but everything can be done on pen and paper. And it is that simple, right? And, there's a ton of different ways to look at like buying power and equity and what you all have, but I want everybody to do this right now. Pull out your calculators. The Cajun came out. I said, pull out your calculators, Shay. Y'all pull them out, okay? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the equity that you have in your home, just your primary residence. If you rent, then if you got any other assets, you can use that number. But let's just talk about our primary residence. Y'all drop that number in chat. And you can just throw a random number if you don't want to share. It's fine. But I want to know what type of equity you have in your home. We're going to do a quick exercise here. I'm waiting for the numbers. Here we go. All right. So they're starting to roll in. Now, take that number. Somebody dropping some big numbers. I like that. Y'all about to be surprised here. Take that number, pull out your calculator, type in that number. Everybody should be doing this. I'm looking at the videos. I don't see everybody looking down at their phone, but I see a couple of y'all. Type in that number divided by 0.2. And then I want you to drop that number in chat. Take your equity number divided by 0.2 and put it in chat. And you see these big numbers? I mean, I think some of y'all might have divided wrong. Unless those 350 million, I think you carried the zero. You carried too many zeros. So 1.3 million, 1.5 million, 200,000, 500,000. Okay, now you still have that number in your calculator. Divide that by 75,000. So the first number we calculated, that bigger number, is your buying power if you leverage debt. 75,000, the significance of that number is that for the most part, you can expect to pay that much for a unit. Now, that can range a whole lot. Like our buy box is 35,000. In other areas, that's going to be a lot higher, but where we buy, that's the number. Now, you see all these numbers, 46.7, 13.3, 2.6, 6.8. That is the amount of units that you can buy right now if you tap into that home equity. Can you believe that? Now, do me another favor. Take that number and multiply it times $300. Whatever your unit number was, multiply that times $300. Now, 300, the significance is when we're underwriting, and that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to do a real-time analysis on some single-family stuff. Like I prepared a little bit, but y'all going to get it cold. Okay, so that number that you're calculating here, that $300 is going to be what I would expect, the minimum amount I would expect to get per rental unit on a property. Now look at this, y'all. $2,700, $4,000, $2K, $800. Someone said $60,000. There's a whole lot of money in here. I like it. The IRS said $8,500. Y'all, we are sitting on top of so much buying power that we didn't even know about. And I told y'all, I got a finance degree. I have an MBA. No one told me about a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, which is something you can get now. And it's like a checking account. You don't even have to write the money out of it, right? Like it's not even, it's not like a loan where you buy it and, next thing you know, you're having to pay, all the interest on it and all that. No. You withdraw it as you need it. So if this was surprising to you, I want you to say me in chat. It always is. I can guarantee it always is. So we're going to get into it, y'all. What we're going to be doing is using this deal analyzer that we've put together. You guys are going to see this on screen. Now, if you are a titanium ticket holder and you've already purchased your titanium ticket, you have access to this. If you're not, then you can get access to this, right? You can upgrade, or if you've not joined us for the property challenge yet, then you can do that now. Our team will be dropping the link. It's at thepropertychallenge.com. But this tool is something that we developed specifically to help people underwrite stuff quickly. Now, here's what this looks like. I'm going to take you guys over the sky high view, and then we're going to actually look at some properties. We're going to look in Atlanta because Atlanta's got a lot of activity. You know, I did not cherry pick a deal. Can I tell you how much time I spent prepping? Okay. Can I tell you? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It took me 5 minutes to log into Zillow and scroll to Atlanta and do some filtering that I'm going to show you guys what I did real time. This is not that complicated. All right. So property info, we're going to put this info here. We got our sale comps, our rent comps. We have a construction estimator. We have a financing estimator, a sales cost calculator, and then monthly expenses. And then it's going to take all this information and it's going to analyze it as both a fix and flip and a buy and hold. Y'all think that's valuable? So we're going to try and step through this. So let's go to Zillow. So Zillow.com, you can use pretty much any online listing site. Are you going to find a ton of deals on Zillow? Or, well, it really just depends on the area. It depends on your filtering, you know, whatever. We're going to go through it. So let's go to Atlanta. Hot Atlanta, as they say. If you from Atlanta, say me in chat. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to filter. And as with most search tools, when you filter, if you get no results, then what do you have to do? You have to broaden that filter, right? We're going to start very specific and we're going to zoom out as needed. So first things first is I want to look at properties for sale. You can see there are hundreds and hundreds of properties here right now, single family. So price, what I want to do is, let's just say I'm going to put the bottom at 10,000 because that's going to filter out, like, you know, some auctions are listed at $1 or $0. I don't want to worry about all that. I just want to kind of see what's available right now. So we're going to start at 10. We're going to put 60,000. We're going to hit apply. And you guys see that number shrink? So that number shrunk a little too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to broaden this, let's just say to 110,000. Okay? Hit apply. Here we go. Now we're a little wider on this front. So what I like to do, because we can zoom in here and look, but what I like to do is really just kind of dig down into, you know, this like scrollable thing, because here's what I'm looking for. And this could change depending on what your buy box is. We don't do a whole lot of fix and flips anymore. And the reason is not because they don't make money. The reason is because we're trying to scale to 16,000 rental units. And I'm not going to get there by doing fix and flips one at a time. Okay, that's my reason. But if I was doing fix and flips, what I want to look for, I want to look at something that's real nasty, y'all. Can I tell you what money smells like in real estate? It smells like pet urine, decaying animal corpses, old mothballs. Like it smells like nonsense. If you walk in and you would say, I would never live here, that might be a good fix and flip candidate. Okay, y'all, one of my first fix and flips, we walk in and y'all, this place is suspect. I'm talking suspect. It's got all the smells. It's got water damage. It's got, you name it, it's got it. Okay. Saw a snake at the front door when we walked up. I mean, it's looking real nice at this point. So I'm walking through the bedrooms and y'all legit see a body bag with a body in it. Or so I thought. I was freaking out. I mean, Terica's with me. She'll relive this story with me. I get the courage, y'all, to kick the bag with my foot, and it was a little hard. I'm thinking, oh man, this is rigor mortis. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this thing's stiff. I get even braver and I unzip it. Y'all, it was a Halloween prop. It was a body, but a Halloween prop in a body bag. So I bought it, we flipped it, made some money. But hey, I'm telling you, that was a gamble. A lot of earning potential on that property. We made probably 70, 80,000 in profit on that. But at one point, we had, I think, an inspector go out, and there was a snake nest in the attic, and it fell on him as he was climbing up. Y'all, some wild stuff. Listen, if you are like, I want to do fix and flips, and this is not the subject of tonight, but if you want to do fix and flips and you're like, you've got like all these nice things you think about it, let me tell you, y'all, it's dog eat dog. I mean, it is ruthless out there, okay? You have to fight with contractors. You're going to have to do all this, and I'm saying it with a smile on my face because guess what? For me, my experience, it was 100% worth it. I got a whole lot of stories that I wasn't laughing about then, but I'm definitely laughing about now. So I'm scrolling through here, and I'm looking for properties, and the one that I have picked out for us to look at is this one here. So 2105 Baker Road, y'all, this is a live listing. You can see they just cut the price by $21,000. But let's click it and kind of take a peek at it here. So there's not a whole lot of photos, but if we're just looking, from this perspective, let me zoom in. I see a Boeing roof here. All of this soffit and fascia's got to get replaced. It's got a barred door, right? That's going to make me ask questions about the neighborhood. But guess what, y'all? The liveliness and the, whatever, everyone needs a place to live. And I say this in the context of every time I talk about how we invest in mobile homes, someone's always got a comment about like, ew. Well, first off, I used to live in a mobile home. It was nice. You know what I'm saying? And, I would say, hey, where you live at? Not everybody can live there. Not everybody has that is in that position yet to be able to be that. So we fix and flip, we rent, we construct stuff across. We have luxury stuff we're working on right now in Atlanta. We've got mobile home parks. We've got stuff that is more affordable in the $600 to $650 a month in rent range. I mean, we got stuff across the board. So I don't let that be an automatic disqualifier for me. But you can see it does need a little bit of work, but it's got a nice little driveway here. It's probably got like some wraparound stuff in the back. It is a raised thing, which is pretty common in Atlanta. And I see some wood siding here. So look, this thing needs some work. There are going to be no interior pictures, I believe. Yeah, it's just these here. So you can see, look, boarded up. So we're going to have to do some window work. Roof's got to be replaced. There's a little bit of sagging, So if you look right here at the lines, you can see it sag. And if you've got a really good eye, you can see it sag in right here. I'm being dramatic, but it's sagging in. And there's also a bunch of leaves. You know what that tells me? That there's water damage here, right? These leaves are sticking here for a reason, right? These are things that you're going to see. This back section is an add-on. It may be an unpermitted add-on. Y'all, am I still not buying this thing? Heck nah. You want to know why? Because look next door. This is a nice little place. Little family home, cars parked under the carport. They ready to rock, y'all. Looks like a quiet neighborhood to me. So we're going to go back to the listing and just make a couple notes here. So this is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 974 square foot home. So this is the property that I want to analyze. So here's what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to go to our deal analyzer and we're going to fill in this information here. So our zip code is 30318 and our listing price is $99,000. Square footage was 974. And all of that is on the listing. I'm not making this up. So this is, you can see it all right here. Real basic info. I'll tell you the purpose of the deal analyzer is to be able to do stuff fast, right? Because I told you guys yesterday that real estate is a volume game. So we need to be able to repetitiously move through a large volume of properties in an efficient way. By doing that, then we can address the volume and really at this point, it just becomes a game of statistics, right? Statistically, so many properties I look at, I'm going to find this many worth looking at further and so on and so forth. So 3-bed, 2-bath, this is a single family. Now, the next two steps that now that we've found our property and we've put in our basic info here is to find sale comps. Now, a sale comp is going to be a recently sold property with a similar size and layout. So similar square footage, similar bed bath count, ideally within 1/2 to 1 mile of that property. But you can zoom out. Again, if we don't have enough a large enough sample size to pull data from, what do? We zoom out. So you can use sites like Zillow, like we're doing now, or realtor.com, or you can find a realtor. But, you know, I wouldn't rely on a realtor to do this level of underwriting right here because, again, we need fast, right? We need repetition. We need to be able to do stuff quick. So here's how I would go about looking for sale comps in the Atlanta area. So what I'm going to do is, and you can see I've kind of done this here to kind of show my process, is I will, like, you know, duplicate this tab with this address just so I can keep this open and refer back to it, but we don't need to do that now. So I'm going to go back to the listing, back to the search, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to change this from for sale to sold. And then I'm going to remove this price range. So by doing this, it's going to tell me the properties that have sold that are in this bed bath count 3-2. I'm going to change that to exact match. So we're looking exactly. And look, you can see the stuff gets refined, right? The amount of properties that are showing goes down because we're refining our search. Property type, we want to make sure that we just have houses selected because we're analyzing a house. Again, it goes down. And then for more filters, we're going to change our square feet to a range. We're going to start out with 750 to 1,000. But what I'm probably going to do is just zoom out a little bit because when we're looking at comps are going to calculate based off of square footage as a price per square foot, not like this amount. This makes sure that if we find a property that is, you know, we're not going to find another one that's 974 square feet, most likely. It'll be in a range. So that way we can compare it apples to apples by just going off of the square footage price. And I'll show you what that looks like. So we're going to hit apply. And you'll recall we were in this Grove Park area. If you're from Atlanta, this may look familiar to you. So I think we were right about here. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and we're going to pick a few properties here. So again, this is not, y'all, like exact science, okay? What we're looking at is for stuff that looks similar, that is in the area with a similar bed bath count and square footage. So because we have the bed bath and the square footage already sold, now we're doing the eyeball test, okay? We're looking for things that look similar. This one right here off the bat, this looks pretty similar, okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to take this square footage, we're going to take this price, and we're going to drop it into our deal analyzer. So 1218, $240,000, and you can already start to see what happened here is it's going to give us an average sale price per square foot. This is the number that we put in for our subject property, and it's calculating our ARV, our after repair value. Okay? We're going to do this a couple more times. So back out of here, and let's just start scrolling. So this one here, again, is pretty close to the property. We're going to do the same exercise, 1,052 and 278. And we're going to do this one more time to get 3 comps. If you only have 2 comps, is that cool? Yeah, we're just doing approximate math right now, okay? This isn't rocket science. And then lastly, let's look more geographically here. So this one here is pretty close as well. So this is going to be 988 square feet for 265,000. So let's do that. All right. Now we're going to move on to the rent comps. So with rent comps, it's going to be a similar exercise, except we're not looking for sold properties. We're looking for properties that have rented or that are listed for rent. And there's a little bit of math checking that we're going to do because, again, this is not an exact science. This is more so just taking a lay of the land and estimating until you can get in due diligence and really pin some numbers down. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out a bit, and we're going to do one more thing. We're going to change sold to for rent. And this is going to show us the properties that are available for rent. Now, you can see it adds this, like, automatically adds this pricing filter. We're going to take that off, okay? And if we zoom in here, we're not going to cherry pick, okay? I don't really like to do too much research into this because what will happen is you'll find yourself starting to pick the highest ones. You don't want to do that, right? That's confirmation bias, where you're cherry picking higher rents, and that's going to overinflate your prices. So you just want to pick 3, and then you can fact check later. So this one is 1,200 square feet for $1,900 a month. So check this out, 1,200 square feet for $1,900 a month. We're going to do this a couple more times. 910 square feet for $2,600 a month. And then one more, we're going to say 1,168 square feet for $1,800 a month. Now, this gives us a calculated rent comp of 1942. Here's what I'm going to do. On its own, sites like Rentometer or Rentometer, depending on where you're from, I don't know how you pronounce it. I say Rentometer, you know, it flows better off the tongue. They can help estimate this. These things are not gospel. Just like looking at Zillow is not gospel. If I were to say, hey, what is the best resource for determining what rent is in an area? Find a property management company that operates in that area, right? That has units in that area. That's going to be the best thing. They're going to have the best pulse for what properties are going for. You can see, so on the homepage here, we'll type in this address and it'll, you know, show us a median, low, high estimate, and then an average. Typically, I will go with the median. Sometimes I'll go with the lower amount if I want to be conservative. But where I start is here, running my own rent comps. And if this number falls between the 25th percentile, this low estimate, and the median, then I go with that number. If my number comes in at 2,400, then I'm going to go with this number. I am never going outside of this range. If I get a $4,000 estimate, right, on my own rent comp, and I come here and it says 2,200, my estimate's going to be wrong. I need to go back and reassess here, right? So we're using multiple data points to try and get a better confidence of what we can do. So we're just going to keep it as is now. So we've got all of our inputs for the most part to be able to run an analysis on this deal. So let's keep going down. Now, I lied. There was one last thing. So the construction estimator. Now, in the deal analyzer, you know, because we're trying to do it quickly, we've broken this up into 5 tiers of renovation types. Tier 1 is going to be the lowest tier and the least costly. So this is cleaning, this is minor paint touch-ups, this is landscaping, maybe some light staging, and that's going to move all the way to tier 5, which is a full gut, fire, water damage, down to the studs, foundation work, all systems are bad or missing. I think this property is probably going to fall closer to here on the heavy rehab. The systems need to be fully replaced. HVAC, you know, you may need a good bit of plumbing and electrical work. The roof and windows need replacing. Let me go back to our property, right? Do our roof and windows need replacing? Let me show you all this one picture. Absolutely. We already talked about the roof and we already talked about the windows. Okay. So we know that to be true. And to be safe, what we're going to do is we're going to estimate this on the high end. Now, the math that's happening here is it's taking this square footage that you put in and multiplying it times this range of square footage. Now, where did this come from? This comes from our experience. This comes from our experience of doing many fix and flips, many rehabs on buy and holds that we've kept. This is just a general range. Is this gospel? No, y'all. Where would you confirm this number? Well, once you're under contract and you're going through your due diligence period, you're going to confirm this number by calling 3 contractors to come out and say, hey, here's the work I want to do. I want you to make this property. So here we go. I want you to make this property look like this property. Now give me a quote. You're going to do that 3 times. And in due diligence, your goal is to confirm this number, whether it's low or high. And if they come back at a different amount, then guess what? You can come in here, type in that number, and you're good to go. The next section is going to be financing and expenses. So for financing, the placeholder is 20% interest rate of 8.5%. Now, this number is going to automatically pull in the federal prime rate and then add 1 point on top of it. This is standard for business commercial loans for these types of properties. But if you get a better rate, perfect. Let's just say you got a good relationship with a banker. They come back at 7.5%. You put that in, you're good to go. Your hold time is going to be how long it takes you to do construction. This is going to directly increase your holding costs, like interest if you're doing a fix and flip. It's going to also increase like your insurance holding costs and all of that. So let's just increase that to 8 months to be a little safe. Agent commission, seller closing, you can manually adjust these according to whatever agreements you have out there. And then monthly expenses, again, these are pre-populated based off of information that we have across our large amount of holdings. This is aggregated data. You know, if insurance runs higher in your area, like in Louisiana, this number is actually closer to 9 to 11%, depending on where you are. In some areas, it's lower, right? But you can go in and manually adjust these things pretty easily. Management fee, you don't want to forget that as well. So I've said a lot. We have all of our data in here. All of our information is in. And like I told you, the deal analyzer analyzes two things. It analyzes it as a fix and flip, and it analyzes it as a rental. So we're going to scroll to the top here. And first things first is we want to look at our offer price. So what this calculator will do is tell you your maximum allowable offer. This is the maximum that you should pay for the property, considering you got a bunch of other construction work to do. You can see right now they're listed at 99. So we can choose to purchase it at the list price. We can choose to purchase it at the calculated maximum allowable offer, which is going to use the 70% rule and all of that. Or we can just enter a custom amount. If I'm just saying, hey, you know, 70% rule is 97, but I want to start at 80 for my negotiations, right? To see what that number. You can do all of that here. So maximum allowable offer at 97. Now here's the results. So 97,616 for our maximum allowable offer. 70% rule is 165,000. Now, how is this number mathed? It takes our ARV, which comes from here, multiplies it times 70%, and this tells us what our maximum all-in cost should be. Our MAO is basically this number minus our rehab. This is the maximum we should pay for the property. And then the 1% rule comes in and it says, is the rent that I can get for this property that I'm expecting to get, is this 1% or greater than my all-in cost? If it is, it passes the 1% rule. Like in this case, if our target is 1%, we're calculating at 1.17. So we have passed the 1% rule. If this number was a lot lower, let's just, break the model for a second here. But this is $9, okay? You can see it'll bring our 1% rule below 1%, and it is below the target. It does not pass that number. I don't remember what this number was, y'all. Do you remember? No. Somebody's going to remember. Close enough. So next is going to be the fix and flip analysis. 1800, thank you. I knew someone would remember. All right, perfect. Nice. Okay, so fix and flip. You've got your sell price here, your purchase price, your construction cost, and then the holding and sales breakdown. So agent commissions, what you're paying for seller closing, any other costs, it's going to subtotal this to a total cost of $184,000. And if we deduct that from our sell price, we have potential profit of $52,000. Now, keep in mind that our down payment, right, is 20%. So in essence, our total in cost is $165,000. 20% of that is going to be roughly $32,000 to $34,000. And we're going to profit $52,000 on top of it. So we're getting our $32,000 back, and we're getting back another $52,000. Can you do the math? $84,000 is what we're getting back in the bank. Now, as a buy and hold, because guess what? The best risk mitigator for fix and flip, because fix and flipping is very risky. It can be, because mid-flip, and this happened to me, mid-flip, one property got rezoned into a flood zone. Now, in Louisiana, that can be a death sentence because flood insurance is just crazy sometimes. But if you analyze it as a fix and flip and then also as a buy and hold, and it can still make you money as a buy and hold, what is your backup plan if it doesn't sell? Well, just start renting it out until the market's in a better spot to sell. So in this case, you can see as a fix and flip, I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty good on this one. Yeah, this is a solid fix and flip, 158% return, and that is a large volume amount, 52K. I'm good with that. But as a buy and hold, not so much. At our expected rent of $1942, we're investing 33,000, we're financing 132, our monthly payment is $1,000 a month. After we deduct our expenses from our rent and after we deduct our debt service, we're actually losing money every month. Right? So as a fix and flip, this works, but we ain't got no backup plan for this thing as a rental, and it's not a good buy and hold. So this is it, y'all. You can click generate PDF report, and you can see it'll download this, and you can actually, I have formatted that or made sure that it was formatted such that you could send it to a bank. It will have the deal analyzer logo on it. So, if you want to pull that off, that's completely fine. But it's situated such that it gives you the information that many banks will ask for when you say, hey, I've analyzed this, I want to get a fix and flip loan. So you can just send that directly or just pull it off and put it in your own format or whatnot. Now, what would we do to try and make this thing make sense, right? Let's say we go back in here and we made some math miscalculations, okay? Let's say that these rental numbers are actually a whole lot higher than what we expected. So I just manually adjusted these. I'm making stuff up. So you can see this bumps our 1% rule up to 1.4. This doesn't really change our profit amount on our fix and flip, but on buy and hold, it's definitely going to change it. It swings it about $200. Now, at 111 net cash flow per month, am I buying this as a buy and hold? Personally, no. It's not enough. I already told y'all I want to see at least 300 on this thing. And so this is not going to work for me. And because, we literally increased rents by 40% here. This tells me, y'all, that, perhaps this is, not, a really good area for rentals. It could be. Look, we could even go in further and adjust our list price. Let's say we can buy this thing for $70K. Let's say we get a real sweetheart deal. Look what that does. That changes our 1% rule quite a bit. Our fix and flip, we're going to make almost another $30,000. And our buy and hold is a lot closer to 300 than it was before. Real estate underwriting is all about levers. Some levers, if you push them up, others go down. If you pull some down, others go up. So you would get in here, you would play with these numbers, and you would do it a lot to kind of see, hey, like what number works best for this situation? What can make this deal work? Or is this a pass and I'm on to the next deal? And Michael, I'm going to kick it back to you, but I hope you guys found this valuable. I did see someone in here said, too bad this data analyzer doesn't work from Canada. Michelle, what do you mean it does not work from Canada? Because it should work from Canada. It should work from everywhere. It's on the World Wide Web, okay? But let me know if you're having issues accessing. This math is applicable everywhere. The thing that is going to be specific to your area is right here. When you're looking up information on properties, this is going to be specific to your area, but the math is going to be the same all around. So listen, I hope you guys found great value in this. Please, please, please. This can make you a lot more efficient in underwriting properties. Like I said, it is a volume game. And our goal with the deal analyzer was to solve the problem of how do we do this fast? How do we do this consistently, repetitiously, in a way that we can reproduce easily and have kind of the same baseline every single time. So go get your deal analyzer. Join us as a titanium ticket holder for the 5-day property challenge. That's my time. I appreciate y'all so much. Later.
All right, everybody give it up for D. Y'all, that's amazing information. You guys like that tool? Man, the TLS team's always going out on these tools and templates and resources. So make sure you go to the propertychallenge.com to get your titanium ticket so you can get that as a little bonus. Check your confirmation email. It's in there, all right? So listen, we are not done. I keep saying that between each break. First, we had Terica come up for a fire Q&A hot seat coaching. We had Derek come up to break down some numbers and show you the deal analyzer. But now we have Smitty the GOAT in the room. He's going to break down what you need to do to position yourself for funding your real estate journey, because you may be going out there and you need to go buy bandit signs. You may need to go get materials for a flip. You may need all these things, and he's going to show you how to secure the bag so you have some capital you can use to invest into your business. Are you guys ready to learn about some business funding or credit? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Put a yes if you're excited, if you're amped up and you're ready. So y'all, I'm going to introduce to you all one of the best in the game, somebody I've seen him go from literally no one knowing who he is on the internet just a few short years ago to now becoming one of the #1 authorities in the credit and funding space. So everybody, welcome up to this stage, the one and the only Mr. Smitty the GOAT. Smitty, I'm going to pass the mic over to you, brother. Let's get going.
Perfect. Can everybody hear me and see me? Drop a one in the chat for me, please. Thank you, Mike. I always appreciate Terica and the family for bringing me in to be able to help you guys learn this funding game. All right, so they can see me and hear me. This is great. Hello, guys. How you guys doing? If you guys don't know me, my name is Kenny Smith, 8-figure entrepreneur. My industry is mastering the art of leveraging other people's money, which we're talking about that a lot in Terica's challenge this week, right? So we're gonna talk about how to get access to the money that we can leverage. All right. So, man, anything when it comes to credit and funding, I know like the inside out, like the back of my hand. So I love to come on and be able to just give my, breakdowns of what I would do to get access to capital for myself to invest. And then this week we're talking about real estate, right? So what's better than to understand how the banks work to get access to money from the banks that we can now invest into ourselves or into investments. We only leverage credit as a tool to be able to make money. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. And that's what the outline I'm going to be able to present to you all. But before I start, all right, I got a question. What is the max amount of money that we can get from the banks? Let me know in the chat. Need y'all help on some of these things, because I know y'all a little bit smarter and could be smarter than me sometimes. What is the max amount of money that we could get from the bank? 500,000, a million. Someone said. Who said a million? We got Claudia said a million. Ortiz said 500,000. Ms. Boyd said 25,000. Sherman said 50,000. Oh, we gonna do some good learning today. All right. Nigger said saying 100,000. Unlimited. Debt to income, equity, 180,000. What is the max amount of money given to banks leveraging funding or credit cards or lines of credit or loans? 250,000. Unlimited. All right. So we got some correct answers. We got some wrong answers. So the correct answer is there is no max to how much money we can get from the banks, guys. It's unlimited. So that means that why do we, especially us, right? Why do we focus on everything else when this is the number one thing that gives us access to unlimited amount of money? Let me know in chat. Why do we focus on everything else when this is the number one thing that gives us access to unlimited amount of money? Because somebody let me know that in chat. We don't know. Lack of knowledge, being uneducated, trauma, lack of knowledge, ignorance. Well, today is your lucky day. You guys joined Terica's challenge, and now you're going to get introduced to the outline of what we need to do in order to learn how to leverage and use it. So after today, I don't want anyone to come out here and say it was a lack of knowledge now, a lack of information, or a lack of, community that I was in to be able to learn the stuff, because you're going to hear today the exact outline of what to do to master the art of understanding what to do to be able to leverage our credit to get funded for ourselves to invest. Okay. All right. So let's dive into this really fast. Can everybody see my screen? Let me know in the chat. Can everybody see my screen? All right, perfect. Let's dive into this thing. So welcome to the summit, guys. The first thing we need to understand is how to structure our business properly. Okay. I don't know if you guys went over this yet, but I'm gonna briefly go over it. You need to have a business phone number, business email, business address. Some people, the reason why I say this is because they start their businesses and they got their personal cell phone, their personal email, and their personal address. And that's not how we, excuse me, that's not how we properly structure a business. We want our business to be properly structured just as well as Target or Best Buy. All right. Walmart, Target, or Best Buy. Do they have a cell phone number, guys? Let me know in the chat. Do they have a personal email that says at walmart@gmail.com, guys? Let me know in the chat. Do they personal address is on the address of Walmart or Target or Best Buy? No. So the thing you need to do is structure your business just as well as them and properly structure your business to be prepared to get funded from the banks. All right. It's good to have a website. All right. It's good to have a Dun & Bradstreet number. List yourself on 411 so your business can pop up. And also a little tip I like to do with the business bank accounts is I like to put $50 in checkings, $50 in savings. Who had heard of an internal banking score? Let me know in chat. What an internal banking score is, the more things you do and the longer relationship you build within the bank, they'll raise what's called your internal banking score. So what I like to do is
Hey,
I like to
hey,
open up.
Smitty, all we see is your desktop. We don't see your slides, by the way.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let's see if this one. Oh, nope. Okay. See them now, Mike?
Yeah, we can now.
Okay, perfect. All right. So open up a business bank account, checkings and savings on the personal side, checkings and savings on the business side. So now I got 4 products within inside of a bank. And what I like to do is I like to open up a checkings, a merchant account. I like to put direct deposit. So more things within a bank raise what's called your internal banking score, and they'll more likely give you access to more funds from banks if you have more products inside of banks. So that's one little tip I like to do when I open up my bank accounts. All right. For anybody that need help with your credit, we need to leverage AI in today's time. So what that looks like is y'all can download your credit report. I'm just giving y'all a little tip. You can download your credit report, enter it into what's called Claude AI. Let it scan your full credit report and all your negative items. And what you guys can do is you can use this prompt. All right, you take a screenshot of this prompt. And this prompt says, have a conversation with 2 people first, before you get your response, and say, hey, talk to the person who created the laws of credit repair and being able to remove things off credit in the world's best credit repair cleaner lawyer in the world, and have them have a conversation back and forth with each other to create me a dispute tactic and a dispute letter coded to clean all the negative items off my credit report. Is that fire, y'all? We can put that into AI and now put that into Claude AI, and now it draft the exact things we need to do to clean our credit at a high level. Okay, that's something I would do if I had to clean my credit. Another AI tool I'll do to be able to build our credit. I'll tell AI Claude to say, hey, look at my credit report and tell me the exact accounts I need to get and the top 5 things I need to do in order for my credit profile to get me to the bank ready and to get access to my first $100,000 in business funding with no docs. So then it will give you the complete build out in the accounts directly you need to go get in order to fill up your credit report based upon what it read. Is that fire or what? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so that's what I would do for that. And this is what it looks like in order for you to have what's called a fundable credit report. This is what it looks like to have what's called a fundable credit report. Anybody on this call should be able to reverse engineer what their credit profile looks like now and what it needs to look like. And what that looks like is 10 or less % credit utilization, 100% on-time payment history, 0 derogatory marks, 0 collections, 0 late payments, 3 to 4 years of history, 10 to 11 accounts, 2 to 4 hard inquiries or less. Anybody on here, what you could do is you can reverse engineer, okay, and see like, okay, what do you have and what do you don't have? And the reason why you're not fundable to the banks just yet is because you haven't positioned your credit report properly how the banks want you to have it. So I need everybody to say this in the chat before I go forward. All right, I need y'all to say it's about the credit report, not the score. Okay, it's about the credit report, not the score. You can have a 750 credit score and still get declined. And some people don't understand why they get low limits, like a $200 limit or a $1,000 limit, or they get declined. And it's because they think that, just because you get a 700 credit score, they're good to go, and you're not. Okay, guys. The fact of the matter is the banks look at your credit score like the 4th or 5th thing. They look at your credit report and your credit build out first. And that's what they determine what you're going to get approved for the banks. So that's what we need to focus on so that we can come to them correctly to get the amount of fund we're looking to get. All right. All right, let's continue. All right. Next. What I use once I got my credit profile properly structured and built out the way it needs to do, I don't go get what's called lines of credit or loans first. I don't go get lines of credits and loans first. Can somebody in the chat give me a guess of why you think I don't go get loans or lines of credit first when I'm going to get funded for my business? Somebody let me know in chat. Yes. Who just said that? Miss Candace. Yes, correct. Because that is instantly getting into interest. What I do is I go get what's called business credit cards with no documentation. Somebody say no doc in the chat. All right. I leverage my personal credit in my LLC to go get personal guarantor business credit cards, and I get them with no documentation, and they give me 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. Uh-oh. Somebody let me know something. If you were to get access to your first $100,000 to $200,000 at 0% interest for 12 to 18 months, would that be valuable to you? What you learned about real estate? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Would it be valuable to you if you got access to 6 figures worth of funds and it was 0% interest for 12 to 18 months, and you're trying to rehab a property, invest into a property, purchase a property, do a collaboration with somebody, right? And understanding how to leverage what's called 0% interest funds with no docs. Wouldn't that be dope, y'all? Let me know in the chat. All right, so that's the strategy I use. Business credit cards are approved for 2 to 3 times higher limits than what personal credit cards are approved for. We also don't have to show no documentation. So I don't have to show any tax returns. I don't have to show any bank statements. I don't have to show any paycheck stubs when I get my money, guys. All right. I don't have to show no bank statements, no tax returns, no paycheck stubs when I go get access to capital for my business with business credit cards, and I get 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. This is the best money on the market. 0% interest. All right. So some of the credit cards that we get, they also don't report to the personal side. They only report to the business side. So how valuable is that the money that I get is on my business side? So somebody let me know in the chat. Once I get access to the money on my business side, what could I do now? Let me know in the chat. If I put the money on my business side and I take that money, what could I do with it now that I got it for 0% interest? Invest it. Yes. And then the second thing behind that, okay, cool, I'm investing it, but what am I saving myself from? When I invest my money on the business side, I don't have to worry about the what? The utilization of the money that I'm using to hurt me. Because on your personal side, if you were to use all the money off your personal side, your personal credit cards, what would happen? Your utilization would go up and your credit score would go down. And you would pay interest. Yes. Okay, so on the personal side, I would have my utilization would go up, my credit score would go down, and I'll pay interest. On the business side, I get 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. I can use the money to invest, and I can do what's called revolving credit card paybacks, meaning I only got to pay back off my credit cards $100 to $200 a month for borrowing 20 to 25,000. So if I were to borrow $100,000, I literally only have to pay $500 to $800 a month in payments. That makes sense? Somebody say makes sense in the chat. All right. All right. Another question I got. How do you guys go about applying for credit cards or loans when you go get them, or when you think to go get them? What do you guys do? How do you guys go about getting those? Let me know in chat. Let me know in chat. Banks online, fill out an application. Just call the bank, HELOC online, apply. Okay, cool. The way I go get access to capital from the banks, I don't go online like everybody, and I don't go into the banks. I don't do neither. What I do is I have relationships with banking reps inside the banks that give me access to capital, and I request what limits I want. I don't get approved for limits like everybody else. I also tell my banking rep why I need the money so that he can have an understanding of why I need access to more funds for my business. So now I leverage what's called banking relationship managers, and they give me a DocuSign application. I request my limits. I don't get approved for limits like everybody else. So that's why we're able to get bigger limits than everyone else. All right, so we use them. And this is where we build relationships with like closer to underwriters and reps that handle the direct lending approvals. Okay, so this is a better odds and way to be able to get funded for our business, a different route, more high level route. All right, now let's get into how we go about getting access to the money now. All right, now, actually, before I do that, I want to do something cool with everybody on the Zoom. This little exercise I want to do with you guys should be able to help somebody get funded live on the call right now. Is there anybody on the Zoom that would like to get funded live on the call? Let me know in chat. And let me know on your cameras. Let me see some cameras. Let me see some people on the camera. Would anybody like to get funded live on the call right now? Get access to some capital live on the Zoom right now? Let me know in chat. Oh, now some people woke up a little bit on the Zoom call. Now I see some cameras coming on. Huh. That's what I had to say in the first time when I should have said that when I first came on here, huh? A couple more people would have see some new names in the chat now. Yeah, woke y'all up a little bit. All right, so what I like to do is this is a tip for you guys too. I like to show a bank that allows you to see the limit of what you could get approved for if you were to accept it, meaning it shows you the limit that you could get approved for, and you got the option to accept it or decline it. Okay, this is a cool way that if you ever find a bank that allows you to do that, you always keep it close to you because there's not all banks that allow you to do that. So I have specific banks that allow me to see how much I could get approved for if I were to accept it. So what I want to do with you guys is I want to take you to that bank and be able to try to get you guys approved for funding live on the call now. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the process of going to my favorite credit union. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a pre-application process. It takes like 2 minutes. And it's not going to be any hard pull to your credit report. No harm, no foul to your credit report. So everyone can try this. This is the cool part. There is no losing in this situation. It's not going to pull your credit. You don't have to accept the money. It don't matter if you get approved, decline, or see how much money you got or you don't. There's literally no hurt to it because it's not going to pull your credit or anything like that or give you a hard pull. So everyone could try this. All right. And how this is going to work is you're going to follow along with me. I'm going to take you to the process of going through my favorite bank and then try to get you guys funded live. Are we ready? Let me know in the chat. Are we ready? Let me know in the chat. Are we ready? All right. All right, y'all. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to pull up my internet really fast. So everybody, the first thing I need y'all to do is go to your internet browser and go to google.com. So we're on the road to getting people funded live on the call. But first thing we got to do is go to Google. So let's go to Google, guys. Google.com. All right. Google.com. Make sure I'm sharing my screen. We're going to do a and then the first thing I want y'all to type in is Dover Federal Credit Union. All right. Dover Federal Credit Union is a white, navy blue, and baby blue bank. Okay, white, navy blue, and baby blue bank. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on it. All right, click on it. And now you should see a landing page of a white, navy blue, and baby blue bank. The first thing we're going to do is go hover over the apply now button and go to credit card. And you should see a screen that says, see if you're pre-qualified for the new credit card offers in little as 2 minutes. Completing this form below will not affect your credit score at all. I'm gonna say that again. Completing this form will not affect your credit score or credit profile whatsoever. So there is no harm, no foul. Everyone can try this no matter what your situation is at the moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this application out. We're going to fill your first name, last name, phone number, email, address, all your personal information. Make sure you put the right information because it's going to send a code to your phone to verify that you're a real person. All right, you put in your personal information on here. You're clicking the 2 check marks right here, and then we're going over view my offers. The next page may put somebody in position to have to consolidate some loans or something like that. We can skip the next page if you don't get to the page where it shows you your offers. Okay, so we're filling out our information. Everyone can do this now. If you don't know where I went to Google. Then I typed in Dover Federal Credit Union, clicked on it. I click credit card and apply now. All right, we're trying to get y'all funded live on the call and see what we can get y'all approved for. If you were to accept it, you do not have to accept the money. This is no hard pull to your credit. Once again, it says no credit impact at all to check your rates. Okay, so go through that process. Be able to get to the screen where it says how much you could get approved for if you were to accept it. Now, the second thing behind this is if your credit report is frozen. Yes, if you have a freeze on your credit report, if you got a blockage on your social, if you anything to block anything when it comes to running your credit or credit profile or running your socials, if it's a block on it, if it's frozen, if it's blocked or stuck or any of those things, then it's probably not going to allow you to see any offers. All right, this is a personal side, Miss Rebecca, and they're not going to be able to let you see any offers if everything is frozen and blocked and you got it on a freeze or anything like that. You got your social block and things like that. All right, so you're not going to be able to see no offers. They're not going to identify, maybe identify you or anything like that, or able to pull anything or to be able to see what they could approve you for. Okay, guys. So if you got that situation going on, I just gave you access to it. Maybe you can do it later, or you want to unlock it and try it. That's fine. But they got to be unlocked. Okay. So, but for everybody else on the Zoom, if you do, or anybody on the Zoom that do get to the point where you can see your offers, I want you to drop the amount that you see in the chat when you get to that part. All right. So it's going to take you guys a few minutes to get with your applications, but I want to be able to see who we can be able to help get access to funds on the call if we can get anybody access to capital. Okay. A second one we can do like this. A second one. So she said, let me see. So Roya said, you can go to Wings Financial. This is the second one that does it. Credit Union. Try that. You can try that one if you're in California or something like that. All right. So if anybody do get to the point where we are filling it out and you get to a number amount, I want you guys to drop it in the chat for me so I can see if anybody got to the part where they can get access to some funds and see if we funded anybody live on the call. Okay. All right. Well, did everybody catch it and see what happened and follow through? Drop a 1 in the chat. All right. Do I need to go through it again, guys? Let me see. All right. So all we got to do is go to Google, type in Dover Federal Credit Union. Okay. We just click that. And then we press hover over apply now, then credit card. That's all we got to do, guys. All right. And then we fill out information. And then that's it. And then we'll get some people to the finish line, hopefully, to see what they pre-approved for. If you do get it, drop it in the chat. If not, we will be moving forward. I just wanted to see if we could get somebody access to capital for themselves right now. Okay. If it does pop up for you guys, drop it in the chat. Mabu said, I got several offers, Smitty, but the max was 13,480. Congratulations. Somebody say congratulations to Magellan. Mabu, I don't want to say the name wrong. Congratulations. Miss Whitney got access to $25,000. Somebody say congratulations to Miss Whitney. Miss Whitney, I might need a little tip or something. I don't, sorry, Terry. I told her I was coming to give value, but people getting 25,000. I might need a little tip. All right. Congratulations to Whitney for getting 25,000. All right. I already explained to some of you guys. If you don't see it, we know the reason why. All right. Or if you're not getting any offers or can't verify you, then we know why. All right. So that's cool. And some more people will probably get it. But okay. One question I got behind that, right? So we just seen Miss Whitney and the other lady get 25,000, right? Now answer this question in the chat. How fast did they get access to that money? Let me know in the chat. How fast did they just get access to the capital with just one bank? Right? How fast did she just get 25,000? Now watch this. How long would it take you to work for that and try to save 25,000. You can get approved for the money faster than you can work for it. You can get approved for the money faster than you can save it. So why not learn the money game like the wealthy do and learn how to leverage? Somebody say leverage in the chat. Somebody say leverage in the chat. All right. The lesson in that is you can get approved for money within minutes versus trying to save it over a year worth of time. Does that make sense? All right. So we want to be able to understand the money game so we can learn leverage. And the reason why I don't have a money problem anymore because I learned the money game. And then once you learn this game, you don't have a money problem no more either. So this is a skill set that can be able to change people's lives if you take it serious. Okay. All right. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue then. Let's continue. Continue. All right. So now that you guys see how fast we can get access to capital for one credit card, now let me explain to you what we do to be able to get a large amount of money. All right. So we understood that one bank can give you, let's just say 20,000, right? We just seen that with our own eyes with people in the Zoom class with us. So one thing I want y'all to understand, it ain't just me, is we can do this, not just me or Tarek or the people that y'all see that are millionaires speaking and things like that. We can do this too as well. All right. We just got to put ourselves in a position to learn how to do and what to do. All right. Now, the way that I go get a large amount of money, my first 100,000, 200,000, I do what's called business credit card stacking method, to where I get multiple credit cards that equal up to the large amount of money that I'm looking to get. So the first rule of thumb is you have to know which banks pulls from which bureaus. Okay. You have to know which banks pull from which bureaus. What are the 3 bureaus, guys? Let me know in the chat. What are the 3 bureaus, guys? Let me know in the chat. All right, we got Experian, we got Equifax, we got TransUnion. All right. So this is how we go do it. Since we know before we go to banks, which banks pull which bureaus, this is how we do it. I will go to a bank that pulls Experian. Let's just say I go to NIHCU. They give me 20,000. Then I'll go to a bank that pulls Equifax. Let's just say I go to Citizens Bank. They give me 20,000. Then I'll go to a bank in TransUnion. Let's just say I go to GM Sachs. They give me 20,000. How much do I got access to total? Y'all let me know in the chat. I need your help on this one, y'all. Y'all not do numbers in here, right? Y'all got to do numbers in real estate. So you got to be able to do numbers. You got to be able to count them numbers up fast. All right. If we got 3 banks at 20,000, we had $60,000. How many inquiries do we got in each bureau? We got 1 inquiry pool in each bureau, and we got $60,000 that we just got access to. Okay. Now, what do you guys think we're going to do next? Let me know in the chat. Whitney woke now. Whitney got that 25,000. She like, shoot, I'm the first one to comment. Let's go. She like, I'm just lit now. I'm ready to just do everything. I'm about to ready to run through a big wall. Nah. All right. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is do it again. So let's just say we go to another bank that pulls Experian, and we go to FNBO. We go to another bank that pulls another bank that pulls Equifax, and we go to Truist. They give us another 20,000. FNBO give us 20,000. We go to Bank of America. They pull TransUnion. They give us 20,000. How much we got total now, y'all? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Alicia, let's go. 20,000. Cynthia, 120,000. Let's go. All right. Suzette said 120,000. Steph is okay. Cool. We on the same page. I think everybody on the same page. We had 120,000 in funding already. So if y'all ever see people on my page or somebody's page saying it's impossible for someone to get access to $100 and something thousand with no docs, guys, that's not real. No, it is real. You can't do that, guys. No, you can't do that. We do this every day. All right. Somebody say information changes situations in the chat. All right. Somebody says information changes situations in the chat. If you don't know it, you can't do it. If you knew what to do already, you would already be doing it. So of course you or the person who's uneducated or never got taught the framework don't know how to do it. That's why we learn. The more you learn, the more you earn. So understanding that as y'all are in here this week, make sure y'all taking action on this information that has been told to y'all, because it's life changing and it's been able to change our lives and to create abundance in our lives at another level. When you learn this game, it's kind of over. Now, let me know in the chat, what y'all think we gonna do next? What y'all think we gonna do next? Somebody just asked a good question. Do it again. Yes. I'm gonna answer your question before I finish. Somebody said, well, what do we do to pull the money off the credit cards? Well, we can use a site called Plastique, and we can send wires via credit cards, but you got to pay like a transaction fee. Or you can go to a liquidation company. All right. So it's ways to pull the money off the credit cards. All right. But to finish out the sequence, we'll go to a bank and pull Experian. Okay. And let's just say it's called PSECU. All right, PSECU, and they pull Experian, they give us 20 more thousand. We go to Key Bank, they pull Equifax, they give us 20 more thousand. We go to TransUnion, they give the Navy Federal, they give us another 20,000. How much we had total, guys? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat how much we had total now, y'all. I need everybody to say it in the chat. How much we had total? Let me know in the chat. We at $180,000. Who in here could use an extra $180,000 to $200,000 for their business and 0% interest for 12 to 18 months? Let me know in the chat. Could you be able to invest into a property or do some rehab with your properties or invest into yourself to learn how to get the properties? Drop a yes in the chat. Somebody said, yay. Yes, that's the feeling we need to have when we learning, because this is what's going to open up the floodgates for y'all to get to the next level. Okay. So the strategy that I just told you guys is the strategy we use to get access to our first $100,000 to $200,000 for us to understand how to leverage other people's money to do so. Okay. And with that being said, another thing I want y'all to understand is this. All right. I'm gonna leave y'all with these last two things I want to say. Like, when you're born, you look like your parents. All right, who in here? Who in the chat? Let me know who y'all look like. Y'all look like who y'all look like more? Your mom or your dad? Like who do y'all look like more? Let me know in the chat. My dad, my mom, dad, mom, my mother. Okay, cool. Mama Dukes, my beautiful mom. When you're born, you look like your parents, whether it's your dad or your mom. But when you die, you look like your decisions. Okay? You don't look like your parents anymore. You look like what your decisions were in life. And I need everybody on here, right? Right? You're not in here for no reason. You're not in here for no reason. It's not a coincidence that you're in this room right now. Listen to me or in here with Terica for this week and a team and things like that, right? I want y'all to understand that the decisions that y'all choose today create y'all future. The decisions you make today creates the future for your kids and the legacy behind you. And it's like, don't take this stuff for granted, because everybody think we got a lot of time. We don't got a lot of time like that. Most of us in here, most of our time that we had is behind us. It's getting shorter and shorter. So I want y'all to take action now. Somebody say now in the chat. All right. Now stands for no opportunities wasted. And I don't want anybody in here to be wasting no opportunities. All right. Another thing too, I want y'all to take this with y'all as well. Who in here hate liars? Let me know in chat. Can I get some hands rose? And I don't know how much time I got, y'all, but who in here hate liars? Raise your hand. I'll see this on the screen. All right. All right. So listen to this. I know we all kind of would say we hate them for the most part, right? We all despise it. We all hate when people do it to us. We hate when we see people do it. We hate when people do it. Spouses, kids, family, whatever, friends, whatever. We all hate it, right? But who we don't hold to that same standard and hold that same accountability to when we lie to ourselves and say we're not going to do what we're supposed to do and don't commit and go all in on our goals? Let me know in the chat. Who do we don't hold to our same standard when we say we're going to do something, when we say we're going to invest to ourselves, when we say we're going to start that business, when we say we're going to invest into that property, when we say we're going to do all these different things? Who do we not hold to the same standard and not say that we hate? and not hold accountable ourselves. So from this day forward, I want y'all to hold yourselves accountable and make sure you do what you say you're supposed to do and don't lie to yourselves. And because then, if that's the case, you should be holding yourself to that same standard you do other people when they lie to you. And you know, the face you make and the feeling you got, have that same feeling to yourself when you say you're going to do something you don't do and you lie to yourself. It makes you do whatever you're supposed to do, whatever it can, no matter the cost, no matter how long it takes, no matter none of those things above. It's just about you doing what you're supposed to do and do what you said you're going to do and don't lie to yourself. All right. So with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Y'all could, of course, follow me on socials, Smitty the GOAT. I'm always on my Instagram and YouTube giving game, man. Hopefully today was valuable for you guys. Make sure y'all tell Terica. Hopefully I gave y'all some good information, some good game to change y'all situation this week. And I'm passing back over to Mike, man. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Smitty. We appreciate you, man. Appreciate you much. Y'all, was that valuable or what? Some of y'all, you didn't even know there were plays like this that could be played. You didn't know that you could do this, but now you do, right? I love how he says information changes, y'all. But listen, it only changes if you implement it. If you implement it, who's going to go take action on something you learned this week? Let me know in the chat. Put the word action if you're going to take action on something that you learned this week. You're going to go run a play like Smitty taught you. You're going to go and actually start analyzing deals like Derek taught you. You're going to go get your LLC set up like Corey. I love it. I see execute in the chat. I love Rebecca says action. I love it. So listen, I want to commend you all for being here. It's been 5 amazing days. But as I told you, I got a few guests I want to bring in that have went through the challenge, that went through this program and went through weeks and months of information, and I want to share their wins with you guys. Is it okay if I bring some of them up in just a few seconds to bring in some more students and clients that have went through Terica's programs at a deeper level to share with you, just a little bit more excitement and energy? I see Claudia says, yes, I love it. So this is what I want to do. Before I bring them up, I just want to remind you all that the opportunity to join the property challenge is available. There's some of you all, you've been sitting on the fence. You've been thinking about it, praying about it, asking your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, should I do this? And listen, if the time is now to jump in, the time is now. You can jump in and get access to the community tonight. You all, this is an opportunity where you're going to get crazy, crazy access to multiple events. Multiple events. Check this out. This is what I'm going to show you guys. This is what I'm going to show you. This is the 5-day property challenge. I'm going to share my screen and show you. This is everything you get inside. I got to find the slide here. This is everything you're going to get when you jump inside, y'all. Number 1, we're going to do 5 days. Let me know in the chat if you could see my screen real quick. Can you guys see my screen? Let me know in the chat. Maria, we good? All right, cool. So you're going to get 5 days of virtual learning. So you already learned so much. You already told me this week has been phenomenal. But I just want to refresh you that it doesn't have to stop here. You can continue going. We have 5 days of virtual training with Terica from where you can go like literally from A to Z, learning about real estate. We break down your real estate goals, learn how to audit your finances and your expenses, how to pick a lane, how to set up your LLC a little bit more in depth. All those things we talk about inside of the 5-day training. But not only are you going to get 5 days of training, you're going to get access to bonus training with special guests, myself, Derek, Asia. We bring in other people to train and teach you on topics as well. Actually, the last challenge, I was able to, and I'm really grateful that Terica let me do this. I was able to come on and share how every investor should have a website that they can go use to drive leads into their business. And I went and showed how to use AI to get your site built in minutes. Who in here wants to learn how to build your real estate investor site in minutes with AI? Anybody in here that excites you? You want to learn how to use artificial intelligence to grow your business? That's what I'm going to be teaching. I hope Terica lets me come back for it. And I think she will if you guys ask her. But so we have specialty trainings. But not only going to get you 5 days of training plus the bonus sessions, we have a private community that you're going to get access to. So you can network, you can jump in and build relationships because we know real estate thrives off relationships. But y'all, we're going to give you workbook. We're going to give you networking opportunities, ability to ask Terica questions. Y'all, I could go on and on and on. A private dinner with Terica, which is wild. So you're not only going to get access to The 5-day virtual training, we're going to do a meetup for all titanium members where you can sit down and meet Terica in person. But y'all, on top of that, she threw in some crazy bonuses. We have a conference coming up in Atlanta. You can get access to the 5-day virtual training, the meetup with all titanium members, plus a conference ticket. So you can sit in person, meet me, meet Derek, meet Terica, and spend 2 days learning about real estate education. Y'all, it's wild. It's wild. Every time we sell out, we have 1,000+ people in the room every single time. But not only are you going to get all that, you're going to get access to participate into our house giveaway. Every single year, Terica gives away at least one house, and you have to be in the room for it to be eligible. But you're going to get the chance to participate in that. Plus all these other bonuses. We're going to give you swag and playbooks and workbooks and board games. Y'all didn't know T had her own board game, did you? You guys didn't know that. So Michelle, you got a titanium ticket, right? I think Michelle got titanium. Michelle, Terica got her own board game. It's called the Developers Board Game. We're gonna ship it to your house. Yeah, it's better than Monopoly. Let me just say that. It's better than Monopoly. All right. So listen, y'all, we got so much more inside there. We could go on and on. There's bonuses. We have our deal analyzer. Like I said, when you jump in tonight, we're going to throw in the deal analyzer tool and send that to you in your confirmation email. And I can go on and on about what's inside you all. We have that's $9.97. I didn't must have skipped over that. It's $9.97 for you all to jump in at a titanium level, right? We do have buy now, pay later options available. So we got Afterpay and Klarna and Zip Pay and Cash App Pay. There's so many different kinds of pays on there. So at checkout, just go select those options if you want. We've had several individuals use those, but all you have to do is go to thepropertychallenge.com to get your seat. Now, we do have other ticket types on the website you can go check out for maybe you're here and you're like, hey, I'm not ready for a $9.97. Go jump in at a $4.97 or a $97 or jump in at a ticket you can upgrade later. But every single ticket comes with a 5-day challenge plus a conference ticket. Every single ticket, despite if you pay $9.97, $4.97, $2.97, $97, you get a ticket to come to 5-day event plus the in-person conference. Who's already invested? Let me know. Put invested in the chat. If you've already invested, you say, yo, I'm getting in that room. I'm going to shout out DJ who just jumped in and got titanium tonight. I'm going to shout out Dante Taylor who jumped in and got platinum. Janine jumped in. Courtney J jumped in. Shanika jumped in. Kimbrayla jumped in. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. And if you're still working on it, I want you to put still working on it in the chat because we want to salute you as well. I want to salute Darlene and Kim and Patricia for investing, but I still want to salute those that are still working on it because we know you're working hard. Now, don't put still working on it in the chat if you're not really working on it. But Ashley says she's working on it. Let's go. But I want to salute you guys ahead of time because I know you're putting the work to make this happen. So while you all are getting in, I want to bring up 2 individuals I feel like you guys need to know. I'm going to bring up Tanya. Team, can we spotlight Tanya Jones on the screen? I don't know if Aisha's here and then Darlene. I want to bring them up to the stage. I want to do another panel to let them share their property challenge experience. So Tanya, are you at work? You better not get me in trouble. Let me see. Tanya, what's up? You at work?
Yeah, I'm at work.
I love it. Well, listen, I'm not gonna get you in trouble. All right. So we're gonna go through yours fast. All right. So what's up, Darlene? Good to see you. Tanya, real quick, I'd love to everybody say hey, Tanya, in the chat. Say hey, what's up? We got hundreds of people watching. Just say hey. Tanya, I love it. I'm gonna let you go first since you're at work. But you went through the property challenge. So let's talk about your experience. And then Darlene, we'll come right over to you. Tanya, did you have real estate experience before jumping into the property challenge? I would love to know.
I didn't. I did have my personal home when I came in, but no, not investing. I didn't.
Not investing. Got it.
No.
In what ways were you trying to expand your money, expand your wealth? Have you tried anything before Terica? Or was this the first time you ever said, you know what, I'm taking my finances seriously. I'm getting an education. I would love to know.
I was in actually 2 previous real estate groups, but I didn't. The information that I received from TLS, I didn't receive from the 2 previous groups, and I paid just as much money. So, yeah,
Let's
with
go.
one of them. Yeah, I didn't
love
get the
that.
information that I received from TLS.
That's huge. So Tanya was already investing in herself, so didn't have investing experience. came in,
No,
he
I
was already
didn't.
trying to learn from some other people,
Mhm.
and but then found out that hey, Tarek is the person I want to go through and to learn this info. So you went through the 5 day challenge. Let's talk about it because a lot of people don't really understand, Tanya, how powerful the 5 days can be. What were some of your aha moments and your big epiphanies? If you could think back, I know it's been a little bit. What was like some of
Yeah,
those aha moments and epiphany moments you had during the challenge?
yeah, it has been a while because I was in the second group. I came in 22. My epiphany was learning the 70% rule, the 1% rule, um, just the different things that you can do to get into real estate. I didn't know none of that. Now
I
that
love
was
it.
the epiphany. Yeah.
So you learned the formulas. You took the formulas away. That's pretty dope. I love it.
The
So
formulas and learning the different ways you can get into real estate.
I love it. I love it. Everybody put
Mhm.
congrats, Tanya, in the chat, going through the challenge, taking action. So you went through the challenge. You got this amazing information. You joined the inner circle, right? You jumped in the
Yes, I
inner
did.
circle,
I did.
and which amazing cohort two, which is phenomenal. You were there from the beginning. Jumped in. What's been possible since you went through the property challenge? Like, what has this information that Tarek has given to you, you all, like really opened up for you? What possibilities, what opportunities have been placed in front of you because you went through this information?
Just knowing where it could take you financially, knowing the connections that you can make, networking in a group with different people from different places. Um, at this point, I have 108 doors since I've joined, and that is phenomenal. But just the networking, the information that you obtain, it could take you to the sky. You just have to get in and do it.
I love it. 108. Everybody type 108 in the chat. That's phenomenal, y'all. That's the power of being in the right room. That's
Yes,
the
it is.
power of being in partnership. That's the power of being where you need to be, being at the right, listen, you invest in yourself. And I'm not even one bit surprised, Tanya, because you invested in yourself and you said, I'm going all in. But everybody give her congratulations. So you got 108 units. What are you working on right now? I always like to ask this question for people that went through the challenge in Inner Circle. Like, what's your main goal right now? Do you have an income goal you're shooting for, a unit goal? What's that look like for you, Tanya?
I want to reach at least 200 at a start. So I'm at 100, so I have 100 more. And I'm actually working on a single family home right now, a 3 bedroom, 1 bath.
What's the play with that one? Is that a buy and hold or is that a flip?
It's going to be a buy and hold.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Look, y'all. Look, they
yeah.
doing deals out here. They doing deals. This is gonna be
So that's
you,
going to be
Maria.
109.
I see Maria. Yeah, 109. I love it.
Mhm.
Maria's here. Pat, Alicia. That's good. That's gonna be y'all. Alicia's already in the inner circle. My bad. But that's gonna be you all, right? That's gonna be you taking down some doors. Who's claiming that for themselves? Let me know in the chat if you're claiming it. So I'll ask you, Tanya, so I don't get you in trouble at work. Number one, I didn't even ask so the audience knew what occupation you're in. What do you do currently full time?
I'm a registered nurse.
Registered nurse. Cool. So
Yes, sir.
maybe some of y'all caught that at the beginning, but you didn't. So any nurses in here? Any nurses in here? You're like, yo, I need to get that real estate money. Let me know in the chat. We got any nurses in the chat? But Tanya, what would be one piece of advice you would give somebody who's here and they're thinking about joining the challenge, just like you had to make that decision back in 2022? What would you say to them?
Mhm. I would say get in because I did general admission and wind up upgrading, and I'm glad I did. I did. I came in general admission initially, and I was like, why you don't just go for the gusto? I did it. I just cranked it up.
I
I
love it. I
did.
love it. I love it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, Tanya, for coming in and sharing. We appreciate you for you start out at general admission, but look at
Yeah.
now, y'all. So even like listen, even if you got to get at general admission, don't let that discourage you. Tanya's
Hmm.
here. She started at general admission, y'all. You should be encouraged that it's possible for you, even if you're
Hmm.
starting out there. So Tanya, thank you so much. Please
All right.
don't text me later and be like, yo, you got me in trouble. All right.
Oh, well, you good, Mike. You good.
All right, everybody say thanks, Tanya. I'm gonna pass this over to Darlene. Darlene, y'all, I believe she got some units and she got Airbnb. Who wants to do some Airbnb in here? Anybody interested in some short-term rentals? Darlene, introduce yourself. Let everybody know a little bit about your background and kind of what your expertise is in real estate right now. What are you focusing on?
Wow, good to see you, Michael. Been a long time.
Yes, good to see you as well.
So yeah, I came into the 5-day property challenge and I was on fire. It was me and my husband that came in together and we came in titanium. We went all the way in. We were totally committed.
Totally committed. I love that. Went through titanium, came
Yeah.
in. What cohort are you, by the way? Forgot to ask. Like when did you jump?
I am cycle 5. So I've been
Okay,
here for a minute.
gotcha. That was 2024, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay, got it. 2024 jumped in, went at titanium. Who got titanium in the house? Put a titanium in the chat if you jumped into titanium. Let me know. Did you have a chance to go to any? I don't know at that time if we were doing titanium meetups. Did you get to go to one?
I did.
Awesome. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's
It
talk about that.
was absolutely amazing. It was crazy. We were in Atlanta at some multimillionaire's house. You know who I mean. And it was outrageous. I had never seen anything like that or had experienced anything at that level before. So it was outrageous. Terica fed us. Derek taught us. We got to network. They gave us these badges that had these codes on the back. So all we had to do was just exchange information in a real quick kind of way. And I met a lot of people and made a tremendous amount of alliances from that one situation.
Love it. Just one event, one event. And just so
Yeah.
you guys know, these titanium meetups we talk about, we make sure that you have a luxury experience. She's talking about we rented out a mansion for the day. She came down as titanium, get to be in a multi-million dollar home.
Yeah.
You all, we don't want you experiencing just this basic event. We want you experiencing luxury. We want you to see what's possible, right? So you went through that. You said is amazing, but able to build some partnerships. But let's talk about the challenge as well, because I feel like everybody comes to the challenge and has different epiphanies, has different mindset shifts and breakthroughs. What was the challenge like for you? Like, were you like ready to go? Were you nervous? And like, what was that whole experience like? Because I want to be honest, it's a big commitment for that 5 days. But what was that commitment worth to you? And like, what was that like?
First, let me just give you a little background. For those of you that don't know me, I go by the name of Miss D. And I had been a real estate agent for 20 years. And I never got taught any of the information that I learned when I became a member of the inner circle at any point during my career. So that was kind of jarring for me because at the end of the day, I'm like, you mean to tell me I've invested all these thousands of dollars every year for education, for my license, and I don't know how to be an investor? I mean, I would think that would be the top thing you would need to know as a real estate agent,
Right, for
right?
sure.
Didn't get any of that information until I joined with Terica Lynn Smith and became an educated person. And then after that, I just became an investor and decided that being a real estate agent wasn't really for me anymore.
I love it. I love it. So that's a unique scenario. I don't know if there's anybody else in here, you're an agent. A lot of people come to us, Darlene. I'll let you answer this because I think you pretty much said it. But people come to us all the time, D, and they say, do I have to get my license to do this investing thing Terica's teaching? What would be your response to that?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, in many cases, it's more liberating not to have the license. And I mean that when I say, look, we can have a license, we can put our license in escrow, and then we can get our license back. Realtors can do that. But what I'm trying to say is this. You can do these deals, you can get these investment properties without a license. And that's what I think is so unique about the TLS circle of investors is that we understand that relationship is what makes this thing work. Relationship and
Relationship.
knowledge.
Yeah. Powerful. Yeah, and I like that we're talking on this topic because Vergestein just said, "Wow, I thought I was going to need to go get my license before the challenge."
Nope. License
No.
is not required. Not at all. As a matter of fact, as I said before, the knowledge that I gained from being in the circle of investors versus being a real estate agent, it was like day and night. It was an epiphany that happened. At first, I was kind of pissed off, okay? Because I was a real estate agent. I should know this, but I
Yeah,
didn't.
you would think.
You would think, but I didn't. And now I came into this with 0 doors, and I now have 105 doors.
Y'all hear that? 105 doors? Y'all, I saved the best for last. I had to put the cherry on top here, y'all. Listen, I had to make sure that Tanya and Darlene came in and wowed you guys. So 105 doors. That's wild. That's crazy. Let's talk about the Airbnb. What made you jump into the Airbnb though? Like, not
Ooh,
this.
that's an interesting story.
Yeah, I'd
So
love to hear about that.
you know how earlier someone was, I think it was Maria. Yeah, it was Maria. Maria came on. Hi, Maria. Maria came on and she asked Coach T a question. And you saw how Coach T broke that down? I love the way her mind thinks. So she can literally break down a scenario right there on the call. What happened was my husband had acquired his grandmama's house. And it was kind of like a liability because it was sitting there, it had a mortgage on it, but no one was living in it. And we didn't know what to do with it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up with you. We did not know what to do. So my husband got on one of the calls that we have in the circle of investors, and he said, Coach T, this is the situation. What should I do? And in 10 minutes, Coach T told us everything we needed to know, how to get it up and running, what to do with it, how to make additional money off of utilizing the fact that we were right by a casino. And the rest is history. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say it was easy. It was hard work. We had to rebuild a portion of the property. But at the end
Right.
of the day, it's now pulling in, couple of grand every month in, you know, it's a nice thing.
I love it. Everybody put congrats in the chat. I love it. Virgistine said this speaks volumes. Latoya said this is receipts right here. I love it. I love it. Darlene, I'm going to ask you the same question I've been asking every single student and client and person we brought on stage this week is like looking back. Now, I'm gonna actually let me ask it a little bit different here. Looking back, what would you tell the Darlene before the challenge? If you could go back and talk to that Darlene that was 2024, kind of nervous, a little scared as an agent, what would you tell that person?
I would tell her not to get overwhelmed, okay? Because I did. It was a lot of new information. I had to do a mind change. Like, this is not just about real estate. This is about a whole different exposure to a tremendous amount of things, including having the right mindset to be able to get past all of your fears, all of your doubts, all of the things that held you back from becoming successful. Success is in us. We're born with it, especially since we're children of God, right? So at the
100%.
end of the day, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, but we don't think that way. And so I had to learn how to get out of my own way. I had to learn how to become stronger in my ability to not get frustrated with myself. And that was really like one of the critical, pivotal things that happened with me during the program. I learned how to be more confident. And I learned that if I put my mind to it and I ask questions, if I'm in doubt, and if I, really go at it, I can do it.
I love that last phrase. I can do it. Everybody type I can do it in the chat. I love it. Darlene, thank you so much for coming up and sharing your story. I'm excited. We need to, I'm telling Britt now, let's have Darlene and Tanya come up and share their story a little longer on the challenge. I may want to see if we can break down those deals you got live on the challenge, is if that's okay. So Britt, remember that. Let's see if we can bring in Tanya and Darlene to break down those deals a little bit for the audience. So everybody say thank you, Darlene, in the chat, y'all. Darlene, have a great night. We appreciate you coming up here and excited for everything God has in store for you for sure. You got many, many, many great opportunities ahead for you. So you all listen, this has been a phenomenal, phenomenal week. We've learned so much over the past 3 days. I want to shout out everybody who's jumped in and decided to take the next step. You see the value. You see what Darlene is saying. You're seeing what Tanya is saying. And everybody else we brought in this week. Tez was sharing her story last night. We had so many others. Jay was here. You've heard people that went through the program and now their lives are changing. That can be you. I want to shout out, is it Jackie's Lake for just jumping in and getting titanium? Let's go. Everybody put congratulations in the chat. Congratulations in the chat. Listen, this is your last call. Go to thepropertychallenge.com to save your ticket. I know there's several of you all here. You're asking, I saw somebody just said, hey, can I join with my spouse? The answer is yes. You can attend the 5-day challenge with your significant other, but you only get one ticket to the conference. So if you want to come with a guest, you want to come with a significant other to these in-person events, they'll need to have a ticket as well. But if you want to start out and you're just like, hey, we want to attend virtually together, you can share that same Zoom together, you can attend virtually together. But in person, you need to get another ticket, okay? Martina says, I just got my ticket. Let's go, Martina. Congratulations, congratulations. So y'all go to thepropertychallenge.com. And listen, this is what I'm going to say. The replays, we're going to send you these 3 days of replays tonight or in the morning. You're going to have till Sunday night at midnight to watch them, unless you jumped in and you bought VIP for this event, then you'll get lifetime for those. But we're going to send these replays out for everybody who's general admission for this summit here, this event we did this week. You'll have until Sunday night at midnight. We'll put in the email we send you the information about the property challenge so you can see it in one place, but just give us a little time to get these out, you all. But everybody just go say thank you, Terica, in the chat one more time. Put thank you, Terica, in the chat. She's phenomenal. She's amazing. This information she pours out in the hours she takes to plan this does not go unnoticed. If you guys haven't followed Terica on Instagram yet, y'all need to be going hitting her up. Female real estate guru on Instagram. Go follow. You just type in Terica Lynn Smith or type in female real estate guru. Y'all go. I would encourage y'all, go comment on one of her recent posts and let her know that you were at this summit. And that it was life-changing. Go follow her, right? She has so much good game she's dropping. So this is what I'm going to do. One person that goes in the Facebook group team, can we drop the Facebook group link one more time? What I'm gonna do is, if you go share your takeaway in the Facebook group, I'm gonna pick somebody, Britt. I'm gonna announce somebody tomorrow. Don't let me forget. I'm gonna go pick one person to go and win some merch. One person who goes and shares their takeaway inside of the Facebook group. The team's dropping the link right now. I'm gonna pick somebody out tomorrow. Go take action now, because I'm gonna start reviewing your takeaways. So just go make a post sharing your takeaways for a chance to win some merch, y'all. So with that being said, team, let's cue up the video and we'll close out the night. Let's go. Hey team, we got to unmute the video. It's not unmuted. Can you unmute it for us?
% rule. So let's just say the property has 150,000 ARV. ARV is your after repair value. Then what happens is, this is how much it's worth when it's fixed up. So the 70% rule says that you only can be into this deal for 70% of the ARV. So 70% on 150,000 equals $105,000. So at $105,000, you have to fix right here you have to put your purchase price and construction. So what does that mean? Let's say the seller is asking $50,000. And let's say the construction from the contractor is $50,000. That is $100,000 all in. What does the 70% rule says? That you only can be into it for a max of $105,000. So this deal right here actually checks off the 70% rule. If you want to learn more real estate formulas like this, click the link below. I'll send you over our real estate investor calculator where you can start underwriting deals just like this.